All right. We are out by our oil pond. I gotta crouch to get out of bed here. Pick up some oil. And since we don't come around here very often, boom, boom. I'm going to pause this, check audio, and come back. So give me 2 seconds here. Good. All right, we're gonna leave that there. Worst that can happen is it stops pumping because it fills up. So we'll take the truck back to our base. I mean, a flyer. I want to show off the flyer. So that's our next step. But in order to do that, you'll find you need a lot of fuel for the flyer. I have 2 of the thrusters that are not. I'm kind of jumping the gun and testing the flyer with 2 thrusters that are level 4 instead of level 5. So their efficiency is not the greatest. And the flyer that I built is actually really heavy, and I didn't put my gate up. Put the gate up. Okay. It's like, this is not getting the grip I'm used to. What's going on here? Oh, my gate's flopping around. Up. Drifting. Okay. Alright, we gotta get back to base. It's gonna lag a little bit, but that's fine. Run as fast as you can. Nope, that's a rock. Okay, we're good. Alright, get back to base. So before I went and grabbed oil, I filled up the flyer, which was the impetus for going and getting oil, because I was out of oil, because I made it all into fuel for the flyer. You know, logical steps here. So on the right here is the flyer. There's a passenger chair on top. That's, you know, in case I have a passenger. Let's just park this thing up just on this one here. Watch me fly out of this chunk and fly back, and that thing has fallen into the water because the vehicle loaded before the platform did. So this is all for pitch, roll, and yaw. It's all suspension glitches. So for pitch, I have some motorized bearings for pitch. My roll is just steering. And for yaw control is 1 and 2, but I kind of have to get this, eliminate a little bit of friction before it will allow it to roll. And you'll see that it doesn't quite want to go back to flat immediately, even though there's a lot of weight on it. That's because there's 2 suspension stabilizers on it that kind of hold it in whatever position it's in, which is nice. So before we take off here, this engine for my pitch control uses a little bit of gas. So I used 1 gas just to show off the pitch control. In case I run out of fuel, I have a bunch in there. I don't know if that's enough to get back to base or not, but find out. So with these 2, I have a little bit of, they don't really provide a whole lot of lift. It's just enough to keep me off the ground. Just enough to keep you from falling quickly, and then I hit 4 for the actual thrust. I kind of had to pitch back. You'll see my suspension just moving a bit for that pitch back. Then we'll yaw left, or sorry, yaw right. Rudder right. Okay, level off. And that was too far. I said level. Level. Alright, we're just gonna go for broke here, and we're gonna head to that warehouse on the on the beacons here. So just let that pitch us over a little bit, and then pitch back to fight it. A little bit of lag as things are loading. I can still see my base, but once the base disappears, the lag should flatten out a bit. There's a charge zone I completely cleaned out. And there we are. Lag is steadied. And why am I pitching? Roll. Okay. A little bit forward. Trim that out. And look at that, a bale maze. I've probably been through that field several times, just exploring in a vehicle. This is my first time actually seeing this map from the air. It looks like there's a chemical pond on that island off to the right. And just for the giggles of it, we're going to land on this warehouse and see if there's anything on top we can just chuck off the side to use later. Because that's my standard MO. Steal the antennas. Depending on the fuel usage of this, we might change it over to have a dedicated thruster for forward momentum. Turn those off. Yeah, so that's the flyer in a nutshell, and ooh, this is way more efficient than I thought it was. Now, this tank controls this thruster, or feeds this thruster and my pitch engine. And then my primary lift thruster and this one are fed by this tank. So this tank is going to deplete faster than the other one. But I could gather up all this stuff and chuck it off the building. What I want is this guy. So we're just gonna liberate you from the platform. Timber? Really? Okay, well, fine. Timber. Okay. Let's weld it to a beam out the side here. Of course I did it that way. Why wouldn't I have done it that way? Let's reattach this. The cable. Reattach one of these. So underneath my base is pretty much all these supports. I'm just gonna stick this to that pillar over there and then throw it off the building, because then I can come by with my truck and pick it up. I'm really not enthused about trying to carry anything with the flyer. It just seems like a waste of fuel for the most part. I know people do it all the time, but I don't know if it's my bag or not. Oh, that was just silly. It was what that was. Let's try it off this side. Bye, Felicia. All right. So I just wanted to show off the flyer. I'm gonna fly back to base. And yes, there's the temptation to be like, oh, if you have a warehouse key, you can get in here. No, you can't get in from the roof unless you come out of the roof first. So You're wrong. Don't do that. Alright. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay. Let's trim it out. Rudder right. Whoa, that's really aggressive when you hold it. Rudder back left. Left, left, left. And really, those two thrusters really only exist to give us a little bit of hang time, it appears. Yeah, I have a feeling that if I had a dedicated forward thruster, I could mitigate some of this, like, over control here. But the suspension stabilizers do a good job of not just allowing the suspension stabilizers do a really good job of compensating for that, the tendency of this thing to pitch forward under thrust. Which I think if I didn't have, this thing would just flip out hard. Okay. And we can come in for a landing. Hey, look, it's my little garage. I moved it over here from the junkyard. Okay, and yeah, that's nice. And cut thrust. Kill power. Fall through the floor. And that's what we have so far. A lot of friggin' component kits, I'll tell you that right now.